Hey, AV Clubbers, it's time for the DVR Club of True Detective Church in Ruins. Not a church, just church in ruins. I'm John Teti, your senior editor, and I'm here with...
staff writer Alex McCown.
And I'm sorry this is on a Tuesday, but when I came in yesterday, there was nothing but a gone fishing sign on the door. I don't know where everybody is. Everybody is on vacation this week.
They were down at the swimming hole.
Yeah. But let's get straight into our top storyline, which is the crazy, debauched sex orgy. I don't know what other kind of orgy there is, but this was a sex orgy in Hollywood. Annie gets a chance to explore her debilitating daddy issues with this orgy, right?
Oh yeah, daddy issues are flying all over the place.
This season is all about daddy issues, in this episode in particular. So talk about what happens to Annie.
Okay, well, Annie, of course, gets all gussied up. She's going to infiltrate the famed California nightclub sex orgy party.
Annie gets somewhat prepared, but she's improvising in there, which leads to some faux pas, if I may. So let's review. I think this episode of True Detective taught us a lot about debauched Hollywood sex party etiquette. Number one, dress formally. You talked about Annie getting gussied up, but everybody else is in tuxes, which may strike you as a little strange because it seems that within 10 minutes, everybody is just rutting like wild moose. But you want to have some dignity before you, I guess, lose all of your dignity.
Rule number 2, if you're going to break into a desk, make sure you leave it just as you found it.
That's right.
Except of course, for what you're going to steal.
Right.
But other than that, you want to leave it exactly the
same. He gets away with a lot of contracts, but he's very careful about closing the door and, leave it all tidy. My tip is to open your mouth when they come to spray the designer drug in your mouth. Major faux pas here by Annie. Miss Nurse Ratchet comes up with the drug spray, which is pure Molly, apparently.
Rule 4, the fourth and possibly most important one, no stabbing. It's just not polite. If you must stab somebody, lower their body gently to the ground.
That's one of my favorite tropes, is the guy realizing he's bleeding out.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Next up, potent quotables. Only the potentest quotables for you. Alex, I'll let you start.
I think this episode, for me, the most potent of said quotables was Velcoro's line right at the beginning when he's having that very intense, very gun-threatening conversation with Frank. And he says, I would have been different.
I would have been different. Of all the lies people tell themselves, I bet that's the most common.
I think I would have been different really launches Velcoro into almost all of his actions in this episode, especially the pity party he throws for himself halfway through the episode, when he just goes to town on his booze and his cocaine and is just throwing things all over his apartment. And ends it, of course, with that very sad, but I think ultimately very selfless phone call to his ex. I understand her skepticism, but I actually found it a very sort of touching, selfless, sad, it's really it's so pathetic because it's all he has left to offer her, really, is I'll go away.
I actually found it a little, to be a little tidy, kind of a tidy way to wrap this up. I mean, it's kind of convenient that his descent into shagginess it results in this sort of clean ending. Maybe this is not really the ending, though. We'll see.
Yeah, I'll be shocked if this is the ending.
Bad dadding, right? That's the culmination of some bad dadding. There was some good dadding in this episode. Vince Vaughn goes to visit Stan's son and teaches him about pain. And what is pain? It's solid gold.
Your father knew that too. Pure solid gold.
Do you think this is good advice?
This was one of those things. I've been enjoying Vince Vaughn's performance so much
this
season.
I love it.
And so to have him sit down and just give this poor grieving child who's just lost his father some of the worst advice I've ever heard is just so upsetting to me. I just wanted to reach out there and just, like an old man with a glove, just slap him across the face to demand satisfaction. That is terrible advice for a child.
I think it's kind of practical advice. Look, the kid's gonna be messed up, I think, right?
True.
He's the son of a mob henchman, right? So Vince Vaughn is basically like, here's how you grow up to be a really good messed up kid. He's like, look at me, I was a messed up kid, and now I'm a, mob head guy.
Yeah.
Head mob guy. Look at me. Someday you too can be head mob guy if you just hold on to that pain. I have a sound decision that I'd like to talk about with you. A sound decision made by the show, not me. I'm commenting on their decision. You see, that's how this segment works. And I want to talk about the wub wub music for the setup of the raid, which we've heard on True Detective before. When we're sort of mapping out how things are supposed to go, we hear this wub 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 pulse, right? But then, when the raid is actually in action and going wrong, we have this dramatic, like classic Hollywood string section come up. I was kind of put off by that. I like True Detective's modernization of the sort of classic Hollywood noir feel, and I don't like when, I just felt like it was pouring it on a little thick, pouring on the old Hollywood a little thick here.
No, I agree completely with that. The problem with that sound choice was precisely the fact
Sound
that,
decision, if you will.
I'm going to go with choice. I think decisions when it's right, choices when it's wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. If you close your eyes, it would be like you were watching Sunset Boulevard or something. It was just this very old style thing, and I get why they did it. I guess they were trying to link this sort of house and Hollywood glamour and all this to the sort of dirty, gritty, what's going on inside. But yeah, it felt tonally jarring to me.
I agree. I'm going to say that I am glad that they tried it. I think there's been a lot of talk this season about the legacy of season 1, and this is one of the things that I really like about season 2 is it's not afraid to diverge from the roadmap and make these somewhat, I don't know, startling stylistic choices.
True, but if you're gonna get rid of the wub wub, you may as well just replace it with the yub yub from the end of Star Wars. I mean, that to me seems like a much more daring, risky choice.
She's been waiting to get that one off since the segment began. Yeah, well done. That brings us to Speculation Corner, and my speculation is, how do you pronounce Woodruff's last name? Because we've been pronouncing it Woodruff, but apparently it's Woodrow, because I've heard they're all mumble.
You said you've heard Woodrow.
They all mumble it, which drives me crazy, but I think it's Woodrow or Woodrue. I feel like I've heard a couple times.
I just wish Vince Vaughn would say it. I wish they would meet, because I feel like Vince Vaughn will enunciate
Vince Vaughn will enunciate it.
He will clip it perfectly.
Oh, that's right. They haven't teamed up yet, have they?
Nope.
Oh, dang. Yeah, I'd love to see Vince Vaughn team up with the other True Detectives. They're basically like an action figure set, and I just kind of want to see them all go off in different directions.
Exactly.
And, yeah, they're my playset. Okay, so perhaps next week we will discover who is the truest detective, but I'll be here. Maybe Alex will be here. I don't even know who's showing up for work at this point, but thank you for watching DVR Club. We will see you next week. So long for now.